something first. When you are presenting and answering, just pretend like I am a very young child and you are talking about this content for the first time, because this subject matter is way over my head. I am not a physics major, so please keep that in mind when you are explaining, so I can try to understand. Great, okay, thank you. So, but also at the same time, don't hurt your presentation trying to make it too easy for me. You have to show what you know and what you can do. So, if you please first introduce your project to us in a few minutes.
Before I start with my project, there's a QR. There's a QR code. There's inside there are some like my projects, like PowerPoint or videos and photos. Everyone can scan it so people know what I'm talking about. Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Yang Caizhen from Sanmin Senior High School. And in my project, I'm mainly doing about a T1PP project called Ring Fountain. And T1PP is a Taiwan's young physics tournament. It's like debating. We have 3 roles: reporter, reviewer, and opponent. We will investigate a project and we will debating with different characters. And my project called Ring Fountain. The ring fountain is actually when here's a ring, and when ring falls into the water, it actually will generate 2 kinds of jets, 2 kinds of rocket jets. And here's the photo. And if you have a scanner file, there's some photos about the jets. And also, like TRPD is not only like investigating phenomenon, it's also a team event. So I will share about some like team-based activities or like how does what the interactions between our team members. So you can start with the question.
Sure. Okay. So my first question then is, what was your research question? What is the main thesis or problem that you are trying to answer here?
So like in each problem, TRPD will have a thing called problem statements.
Yeah.
Okay, so in my project, ring fountain, its problem statement is going to investigate to change the rings parameters like inner radius, outer radius, mass, or thickness to investigate which parameters will make the best impact on the objects.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm doing about.
Okay. So throughout your project then, in the end, maybe you can explain to us what were your final results? What did you find? Did you answer the question that you were trying to answer?
Yes, I have answered. I have like concluded which parameters will have the best height. So in my project, I've changed the inner radius and outer radius. This plate have smaller inner radius, big outer radius. It will have the best. And also, I've changed the whole shape. Have triangle, square, and circle. Triangle is the best. Yes, and I have released from different types. It doesn't have 2 separate 2. If I want to have both, because I have 2 jets, but if I want to have 2 jets have higher, I should release at 25 centimeters. But if I just want whether which jet I will investigate on, if I want the biggest, highest jet, I will choose 30 centimeters to release.
Okay.
So that is my results.
Okay, great, thank you. So I have a question about, because you said this is a teamwork project for you. So my question is, your teammates play the role of internal review board. So the question that I have is, how were they qualified to fulfill this job, since your third objective was to make sure your model's logic was defensible under intense academic scrutiny? So how is it that what role did they play to make sure that your project met this
Just
level
like
of scrutiny?
I have to do the slides.
Yeah.
And in a real presentation, we have to present ourselves.
Yeah.
So after this, in the tournament, after I report, I take opponent will ask me questions. They will like present to the opponent and ask me whether it's short questions or long discussion. Like actually I ask about the definition, and like in my project I will have a frame by frame analysis.
Yeah.
So they will like ask me to, can you like explain your frame by frame analysis, like tell you more details, like what is like the best recorded over 1,000 videos there. So I have a lot of data. Like people ask me some questions about data, like why the data is like this, or like a boundary effect, for example. Although it's a little bit hard, some people will ask me if I change this hole, those very very small holes, like maybe 1 millimeter, will it still have a jet? Maybe I want to think about these questions and answer the other questions.
Okay. So can I jump in? So what was the toughest question that somebody asked you, and was there a question that you actually weren't able to answer?
Just like at the first time, somebody just asked a lot of other things, like just like the thing I just said.
Yeah.
So at that time, I would like spend some time to investigate. Oh, if I really change these holes into very small, what do you do?
Okay. So could you say that you learned a lot from the questions that were asked at this type of competition?
Yes. And also like, I think it's not only like I know like what my project is.
Yeah.
I think the precious part is I met a lot of problems. Is before I just only use the support gadgets.
Yeah.
There's no not regular size, so I will make these three. And also it's before I just use my hand to release there's a video. Before I just use my hand to I just use my
Yeah. Okay.
so after that I changed it into an actual format. And before this, because use hands there's a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You can think that maybe it's not horizontal.
Can't control
Yeah,
it.
you can control. And also like although I spent 3 months, I started in November. In November to February, these 3 months I actually just keep doing my experience, recorded all 1,000 videos. But I didn't find a way to analyze my experience.
Yeah.
You know, if we can't find a ways to analyze, these videos have no meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that maybe I should slow down my pace. I shouldn't rush. So I just try to like frame by frame. I just watch the video at very very slow speed, frame by frame, and I can observe the whole phenomenon is like the whole phenomenon. And when I get the whole phenomenon, so I can have more ways. This is my frame by frame analysis. And at the current I'll put the frame by frame focus awareness. I just know that fast can go first, fast can go later. And like when it's touch the water surface, the fast rate is generated. And also the cadence. So the cadence increase will generate the motion like this. And after that, I just keep making my slides. I'm like putting my data onto it and practice the presentation. Because we have the time limited, and I also started to know maybe my opponent will ask me a question. And so at that time, I will have a lot of interactions and moderations with my teammates. Yeah. And although that, you know that I found a frame by frame analysis. It's 1 week before I'm going to Taipei. So, and also I find this frame by frame analysis. I know like maybe which parameters I still lack of data. So at that time I took 1 week off. At that 1 week I didn't go to school, and after that I just go to Taipei. So it's a really hard journey. It's like I didn't go to school. I just keep doing my experiments and keep practicing. Although because doing these things is only me. I've done it by myself, but I still have I not only but although it's one I do by myself, it's quite boring. No one accompany with me. But if I took my report, like reported to my partners, actually will feel like it's actually one, and I can like have a chance to work with my team. My team name is called Fusion. They can like, Fusion is like a lot of this combined partner's opinion or like they're giving some advices, I can keep strengthen my report. And finally, I got a quite high score in theoretical college.
So if you hadn't found that answer by doing it frame by frame, it would have changed everything in the presentation.
Just like before, if I didn't download memory, actually, I didn't have any
You don't have the final.
Yes, I didn't have any resources to.
It's a lot of stress.
And also because it is team event,
Yeah.
so that means I'm doing nothing in
Yeah,
my team.
I understand. Okay, thank you. So I have a couple of questions. I don't know how much time we have left. First question I have is, so this is all self-learning, it's independent study.
Yes.
Would it be possible to learn what you learned if it were just regular classroom instruction? Or is it necessary that you went through all of these failures and doubts and challenges in order to really learn about this particular subject?
I think that if I want to say in this project what I learned the most, I think is slow down my pace.
Yeah.
To recap all the details. I think these things like I can like applicate
Yeah.
in my daily life. Maybe in the future I found something that is hard. I didn't find the answer easy.
Yeah.
I can try this skill
Yeah.
to find the method. And also like I can like because it's team event, so I can like the team spirits I can use it in my life. Like maybe next time I'm another teamwork. I can know I can use my experience to like cooperate or interact with them.
I think that's a really great message is to, when you're having some kind of challenge, to slow down, go back, and reanalyze. And this is something that you can't learn it just from the textbook, right? Okay, so I have another question. This is for those of us in the room who are non-physics subjects or students, or this particular experiment that you did. How does this apply practically to the real world? So this particular topic that you are working on, is where will we see something like this? What kind of tools or mechanisms, or how does this apply to the, I hate to say real world, but you know what I mean.
But actually, I would say that I didn't think I didn't investigate this part alone.
Right.
But I think that because we can like during the experiment, you know, like how can I shoot and judge high into the air. So maybe it's like we can, if we don't know like how to shoot the air, the water high in the air, maybe we can use what I learned in this project. It's mechanics.
Okay, thank you. So another question that I have is about the language. Because you are presenting everything in English rather than in Chinese. My first question is, so we'll do it quickly. Did you do all of this work in Chinese first, and then at the end prepare your report in English? Or are you doing all of this in English?
First I'm using English.
Okay, so what's your strategy for translating it or transferring it
I think
into
that-
English? And what role did AI play?
I think that AI just like help me to like giving me advice on which word I can use,
Yeah.
and I can like keep interacting with AI, so I can get more information. I can choose that which word or which ways is best fit to me. Yes. So that is what AI creates most, and also like AI will help me to cooperate, give like all the information.
So do you have like a final way to double check what you get from AI? How do you, I know we're out of time, I'm almost done. How do you verify that what you get from AI is accurate?
I will like discussing with my partners or like asking teachers, and also like I will like maybe if experimental things, I will like do experiments to make sure that the AI is accurate.
Okay, great, thank you. So do we have any questions from the audience? Yes.
Yes.
It seems like you did a lot of work to get this experiment the way you want, but you also had to work with others in the team. How was that? Was it easy to work in the team? Because you did all of yourself.
keep like trading our ideas. And not only this, like especially when we are in Taipei, because QT there's not only like reporting our report, they also need strategies like who should take stage at first. So we will like discuss which problem, we have 12 problems, which problem like we should go in at first, or like if we meet some obstacles, how can we solve? Yeah, just like we have 5 physical fights, and at the third fight we actually got like relative low score, and at that time I even cried at the TFP tournament because I think that I didn't do well, you know, just like because at that time we are doing the problem we are debating is my problem, the ring mountain, but I'm not the one who takes stage. It's other people. My teammate goes, but she's not doing ring mountain this problem right, but she just knows that she knows how to present a opponent well. But at that time, I didn't tell my partners the key, but which like the mechanism or some theoretical things. I didn't give these key information to them. So, and we actually just lost our pace, and we got a relatively low score, right? I just think that I didn't do well. I didn't like give my key information to them, so we cannot get a high score. You know, like because it is a team event, I should pay more. We're a team, I should pay more. Yeah. But at that time, I didn't pay more. So, and also like my teacher, just like blame, just like why didn't give your partner this key information? What you are doing? Yeah. But I'm actually I know I didn't do well, right? Actually I'm already quite upset, but my teacher is giving like something like this about blame. So I'm just like crying. So and when I'm crying, you know my partners will give me a lot of warmth, like tell me why you got to cry. It's just a relative low score. We still have 2-5. We can like in this 2-5 we can come back. We come back. We just done our preparation well. Don't care about this relative low score. Just like this. Yeah. They not only give me like ideas, they also give me like the mental support. And the next round I just like I took stage. They also like because I have a lot of data, right? They helped me to find the key data. The key judges asked me, you have key data to prove my claim. They helped me to find out the key data, and I can like answer the questions from professor with my evidence, just like that. That's what my team's done. Yes.
Great. All right. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. I think that's a really good real life example for us to see the struggles. We get to see it in person and know that this is what it means, right? You try, you find out what went wrong, and then you keep going and you improve, and then you do better next time. I think we got to see all of that information.
Actually, these TOPG tournaments is actually really teaching us, and like I'm not only investigating about physics, I also have like in the reference with my team and have learned a lot of things that the textbook don't teach us.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want
Yeah, go ahead, take your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the next, please welcome Lin Yizhen and Wang Yuan from Xinzhuang Senior High School. Present the certificate of participation and progress.
Thank
like the last one, if you could take just a little bit of time, introduce yourselves, and give us a quick overview of your project.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex. And I'm Jessie. I work from新庄Senior High School. So our project is about our first policy debate journey, which we participated in the English debate tournament for senior high school students. And why we wanted to do this debate is because last year we participated in the public forum debate, and we advanced to the nationals. So that's why we wanted to try this again. And also me and Jessica are both interested in English and foreign languages. So that's why we decided to do this. And we started doing our research near February, and our competition was in April, which is relatively late because they gave us the topic at like October. So yeah, we started late, and so we were kind of in a rush doing this, and we were quite nervous because it was our first time doing policy debate. Yeah, which is I would say the process is more difficult than public forum. So our topic is the Taiwanese government Taiwanese government should overhaul its energy policy. Yeah, to address the nation's most urgent needs. So first we would have to identify what Taiwan's most urgent need is, and then we would have to decide whether we should adjust our energy policy. So basically, during debate, both teams would give us a plan, and we would debate on, is this good or bad? Obviously, it's our debate. Yeah. So during our practice, we took a lot of free time out of school, like our more flexible periods, like gym class, etc. And also weekends, we went to school and practiced. And we also had a couple of friendly matchups with multiple schools, which really helped us during debate, to have a little bit of experience. And in the end, even though we didn't advance to nationals, however, we learned a lot about critical thinking, teamwork, and how to organize our ideas.
Great. Okay, thank you very much for that. So I have a few questions for you. First question is, what was your motivation, or what's the reason you chose policy debate rather than something else? And then a follow-up question to that is, what's the difference between policy debate and different type of debate?
So debate, there is two kinds of debate. So one is called public forum,
Yeah.
and another one that we joined is called policy debate.
Okay.
So last year we joined the public forum because we are the beginner.
Yeah.
So basically, public forum you only have to stand pro and con, like yes or no.
Yeah.
But policy debate, why is it more difficult? It's because you have to come up with a plan, like just like the topic, like
Yeah.
should Taiwan overhaul, and you have to come up with a plan to overhaul its plan. So if you are the affirmative, you should come up with a plan that you think that it might solve the urgent need of Taiwan. But if you are the negative side, you have two choices. You can say that you think that the government's plan now is okay, it's fine, it's with the urgent need. And another choice is to come up with another plan, which is different from government and also different from affirmative. And that is a difference.
Okay, thank you. That makes a lot of sense. So I read in your report that you had learned some things that you didn't know. Wait, let me back up a second. So do you have, before this debate, did you have a lot of knowledge about Taiwan's energy plan, or is this all really new for you?
Actually, it's new for us.
Okay, good. So then that leads into my question. So what is the most surprising thing that you learned when you're doing all your research on different types of power? Because I know in your report you mentioned, nuclear energy, we just knew that it was dangerous, but actually we learned something. So what's the most surprising thing that you learned?
Most surprising things is that although we know that, although we heard a lot from news like, nuclear is dangerous, but also we heard others say that maybe some countries they are using nuclear and it's good, but at the end we choose the we choose the renewable energy over the nuclear energy.
Yeah.
It's because that we found out renewable energy is fit Taiwan's like current need because it's more cleaner than nuclear energy. And actually, to invest in nuclear energy, you need a big place because it will have a lot of like the pollution things, and you have to find a place to get it to place it. So since Taiwan is quite like not that big, and so we should use renewable energy.
I would like to, which is, I realized that the cost price of low consumption electricity prices are actually lower than the cost price. Like, the current, like the cost price is $3.8, but however, Taipower is charging below that. So we thought it would be more, but it's actually less.
So why is that?
Yeah, we don't. We didn't get into this. Yeah.
Okay. That's your next research topic.
Yeah.
Okay. So did anything change your mind while you were doing this research? Like your preconceived notions about things? Did you change your mind as you were going through? Like did you originally say, yes, we need to change it, and then wait, no, maybe we don't need to change it, or wait, maybe there is a better way? Did you find yourself going back and forth, or did you just find one way, let's do it this way?
Since we are incubator, we have to force ourselves to do back and forth.
Sure.
Because we have to prepare for the worst
I'm
time.
talking about inside your own beliefs. Did you change the things that you believe as you're going through this process?
Yes, because since we have, since like the first step of doing this research, we have to find out that what is Taiwan's most urgent need.
Yeah.
So since then we changed our mind because we found that there is a lot of things that Taiwan is facing right now, but you have to pick one which is most urgent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Okay. So can you add more to that? Like what is Taiwan's most urgent need in terms of energy?
We choose the economic stability
Yeah.
because we found out from the news, it says that Taipower is having the deficit, and it's about 350 billion, which is a large amount. So our overall plan is to try to raise the residential electricity rates and the industrial rates to like around the average at least, so that we can earn more money and to solve the deficit. And also we have more money to invest in the renewable energy.
So if we increase the rates, will that have any other effects on people's usage?
I would say people would definitely, why are you raising our electricity rates, of course, yeah. But
Do you think that will control the amount of electricity that they use, or people are people?
I would say more or less, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So based on your research and the debates you attended, sorry, skip that one, you already told me this one. Read the question. Okay, how did you use AI in this? So this is kind of a two-part question. Did you use AI, or let me back up. Where did you get your research from? So what were your main sources of research? And I'll get to AI after that.
Our main sources of research is usually from the website of every college because they do a lot of research.
Okay.
Yes. And about the AI question, I think we use a lot of AI, but like in different aspects. Like for example, if once we have a plan, we try to ask AI like fight back us, and then we force ourselves to answer the AI question so that we can find out that there's a mistake in our plan, and our opponents might ask about this question, and we will think about the answer, and then like change revise our plan again.
So do you have any kind of method that you use to verify what you get from AI? Like, if you use it for ideas, is there any way for you to double check or make sure that what you're getting is accurate?
I'd say we look up articles ourselves too, to compare, is it true?
Okay. Okay. So in terms of this self-learning journey that you're on, would you say that what you learned from this project and these debates, is it something that you could never learn from the textbook?
calculate the electricity rate or
Yeah.
something. And we would never learn that. There is so many problems that Taiwan is facing right now,
Yeah.
and like how to adjust it. This is the thing that we think we can't learn from the textbooks or even the course.
So what was the most challenging thing for you guys about the debate process? You said that policy debate is very challenging, but this entire journey for you, what were some of the more challenging things?
For me, I think that the most challenging things happens in the beginning because actually our school didn't have a lot of experience about policy debate because we do more on the public debate. So since we are like 11th grade, we have to like force ourselves to search like how to do the policy debate. So we have to start from the format. And actually in the beginning, because I went to a workshop, but I feel so confused after the workshop, like even more confused than I was there before. So after that, I tried to do more research on like YouTube or website, like to try to watch the video of others to learn like, oh, actually this is how the speech doing.
How about you?
I would say because when we were in 10th grade, we had 2 teams going into this competition, but whereas now we only have 1.
Yeah.
So during daily like practices, we don't really have like opponents where we can like clash.
Yeah.
So it was more harder.
So I watched some of the videos. I didn't watch them all, but I did kind of skim through them. I noticed that you were doing the debates online, and most of the time the cameras were off as well, right? So compare and contrast to when you do like a real debate, what's the difference between doing it online and obviously face to face?
Actually, I don't feel there's a lot of difference.
Really?
Yeah, but I feel the real life debate is more pressure because you have to force yourself to look into your opponent's eyes, which is quite difficult for me because I feel fear.
Sure, so that's kind of my question because when you're doing it online, you
Yes.
don't see the person and you're not in the same space. Maybe it's easier to be brave and be more direct or maybe not as afraid to say something, but when you're looking at each other, it's different, right? So do you feel that the online practice really prepared you for this? And follow up, would you do it differently?
I
You
think
did it again.
yes, it helped us practice a lot because just as my partner said, she said that we only have 1 team, so we don't really have a lot of chance to practice like by each other. But since there's an online friendly match, we got the chance to like crossfire and like get others information like from other schools. So I think it still helped us a lot, even though it's not face to face.
So if you had to do this entire thing again, what changes would you make? Is there any other way or something you could add that would make it even better?
I'd say we'd start earlier because before we weren't really sure, should we do this or not? Yeah, if we started earlier, we probably would have this time.
Okay, great,
Thank you.
Okay, so back to the audience. So far, only Teacher Mo is allowed to leave after this is done. Any other questions? Sure.
Okay, so here's the question one I want to ask. So for the student that whose mother language is not English, how would you like to introduce or suggest them to get used to the debates and to enjoy this?
I think English debate is not special for the people who are good at English. But I think the most important thing is that you're willing to express yourself, to try to express your idea, your plan, and what is your perspective. I think that is the most important thing. So the advice I would give them is just try your best and try to express yourself.
Can I follow up on that? But do you believe that it will affect the strength of your argument if you cannot get it out fluently?
Yes, of
Like
course.
if you listen to some of the ones that I listened to when practicing, I heard some of the speakers, they're very slow and choppy with their responses. That would probably hurt, right? The strength of their argument.
since you fall, like after falling a lot of time, you will become stronger.
Yeah.
And since you become stronger, you want to be successful.
Great, thank you.
Earlier, when you first started, you said you ascertain what this country needs as far as energy. How did you do that? The second question is, you said that you went towards the renewable energy instead of nuclear, but there are so many renewable energies, so which one is it you choose?
So to the first question,
So we just kind of identified like what's going on right now because obviously there's another we chose economic stability and another popular one is obviously national security because China is so we just kind of like looked through articles and like identified which like what is important right now.
and to the renewable energy, we choose solar and wind because these two are the most popular in Taiwan.
Anybody else? Michelle?
Maybe I have
Question, here we go.
Okay.
So the solar panels, once they're broken, they aren't recyclable. So how is that better for the local producers?
Because our plan includes like we're going to upgrade like the battery.
Yeah, the battery storage, so that when there is like no sunshine, no enough sunshine, we have a strong like the backup plan, so that we will still have enough energy to use.
How are we going to get everyone to use solar power? Because, you know, like Belgium is very small. How can we get everyone to have solar on their roofs?
We are not going to like because like this year is 2026 that we are not going to like force everyone to use the 100% renewable energy next year. So it is kind of like step by step. So we will try to decline the use of the fossil fuel energy, so that it will also make the whole make the whole society more stable.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
Okay, so now please welcome Li Youxi and Lin Jielin from Kaohsiung Girls Senior High School.
All right, hi again. We met earlier. It's my pleasure and honor to discuss this with you today and hear a little bit more about your project. I was very interested. I went to your website and everything and had a look at everything. So I do have a few questions, but first maybe just introduce your project to everybody. Introduce yourselves.
Nice to meet you, and nice to meet you guys too. And we are both from Kaohsiung Girls Senior High School, and both of us studying biology. And I'm just yes. And just why we want to conduct this project. And the main reason is that we realize that AI is become a future trend, and we want to gain some knowledge in this field. So we want to, but the present high school knowledge can't afford this kind of knowledge. So we want to just try our best to explore how AI works by doing this kind of projects. And what we have done, I'll let Chris have results, but we still want to dig deeper into this field, so we start to use the neural network and something like that. But it is a little bit more difficult than those algorithms. So. But we conquer some obstacles. Probably I will answer one of your questions later.
Yeah.
And so after we build up the models in the end, we start to build up a website and allow everyone to use it, put in their own parameters such as blood pressure, blood sugar, and the website can help you predict whether you're at a high or a low risk of getting diabetes.
Great. Okay, thank you very much for that introduction. So I have a couple of questions first. So you started with AI. AI usage was the main motivation for this, right?
Yes.
So how did you get to diabetes? Because you could use AI to do anything, right? So how did you get to screening for diabetes? What's the motivation for that?
Firstly, because we are in the research categories in our senior high school, which is aimed at the medical field.
Okay.
So we start to look for some application in the medical field. And then we went to a website and they provide many data sets and allow everyone to use. So because we have to do some research and they are saying that diabetes is pretty workable and easy for beginners to start from their first machine learning project.
Okay.
What AI help us is just help us to program, because the thing that we can do in this stage is just program. So we want to do this is only we want to learn how the algorithm works. So the only thing that we can do is program. So we only want AI help us on program. So that's what AI helps.
Okay. Okay, great. So my second question is, did you already have some background knowledge about pre-screening diabetes? Is this something that you learned in class, or did you also have to learn all of the background knowledge about that as well?
I have to say that it is a whole new field for
Okay.
us and we didn't have any background knowledge about it.
So the AI and the diabetes, all of it you had to learn from the beginning. So it's not something you learned in class.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so I have more questions later, but if you had to do this again, do you feel like the connection between AI, the coding that you learned, and then diabetes, do you think this was a good match, or would you choose something else if you had to do it again?
I think it is a good match because in the future, like, I think that in Taiwan, because there are always a lot of people in the hospital and doctors are going to be overwhelmed. So I think this kind of systems and the machine learning tools can help release doctors' burden. So I think that it's really a good choice and it's also
So because I know where I come from, diabetes is a major problem, especially younger people today. How about in Taiwan? Did you end up finding out any information about how serious or not serious it is?
Yes, it is the top 3 disease that our nation's people have. So I think it's really good.
Okay, great. So I know that you wrote an essay, right? In Chinese. Do you have any plans to publish this essay? Are you going to try to keep going down the research academic road, or is the essay only for this project?
Recently, we were just for this project, and it is because this kind of structure is already done by many people, and it is also the preliminary class for every engineer.
Yeah.
It's training a model and make a model that can predict something. So it is not an innovative case, and so I think that is not enough for us to publish or make it for academic
in these projects.
Okay, thank you. So I've talked to both of you earlier, and you mentioned that maybe you would like to be doctors in the future or somewhere down this road. So using AI to get information or get research, this is the same question I've asked in previous groups. How do you verify the information that you're getting so that it's true? And I guess in the medical field, it's very important. You have to verify everything that you get in order not to make some major mistakes. So how do you verify your information while you're doing your research?
Yes, and in my opinion, I would say that AI is just an assistant of us. And also in the medical field, it is just you can just maybe you can take its advice, but you can fully trust it. You still have to judge by yourself.
Yeah.
And like when we are building out this model, we will focus on the high recall rate, which is say that we will recall all of the patients that might have the diabetes, but it is not true. But we make the model be sensitive about these patients so that it can assist us to not miss any patients in this field. So I think that is also one application.
Okay. So the website itself, I looked at it, I know you made it through bilingual website. That's very good for bilingual 2030 Taiwan. I'm just kidding. But how many trial runs do you have to do? Like you're using the model from AI to predict whether or not people are at risk of getting diabetes. So I guess there's a lot of questions here, but obviously you have to have a set criteria of numbers from each particular category that you have on the website. So where did this information come from? And then to have your coding predict based on those numbers, did you have to do this multiple times in order to trust the results?
Yes, we have many times, like we show in our course, we do at least 7 times of the trials.
Yeah.
And it is the process of machine learning, because machine learning is that you have to keep adjusting the parameters in it, and it might have different way of predicting. And that is called what is machine learning really means.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now I have a follow-up question about the website itself, because I went to look and I was going to type in my information, but actually I have no idea what some of those categories are in the boxes. So my question is, are those numbers that we can get on our own, or do we still need to go to the doctor first to get those results before we put them into the
Then I think those data you still have to
go to the doctor
hospital.
first, right? So is there a way to do it so I don't have to go to the hospital first, or not yet?
Here's the mechanism that if you have some missing data,
Yeah.
it can still predict, but
Oh,
not that
I see. So to have the better results, we still need the test first. Okay, thank you. Now, I noticed that you had a 3-hour video from some, I don't know what she was, teacher or YouTuber who taught you how to do coding, right? What is she? She's teaching how to use AI, or
Give us a brief introduction of our
algorithms? Okay. That's the long video, right?
Yes.
Okay, so please, we only have a minute left, but maybe describe to us the effectiveness of learning from a video like that. Because you're not able to communicate with her, it's not a classroom, you're just watching the video and learning. Is that a slow process, or is it?
It is a slow process because in the video contains a lot of mathematic skills or some knowledge we didn't really know.
Yeah.
So like I think we mentioned in our course we have a mentor that he studied the university in the university. So when we have questions we would come and ask him. So actually we have a real person to ask him the
So this self-learning process, because you watch the video by yourself, you have the person that you have to seek out to ask questions. Do you think this way is more effective than learning it in the classroom as more of a passive student?
Whether it is efficient, I think it depends because like self-learning, we can choose what we want and what we aim to reach. But in the classroom, you can just accept all the things teacher gives to you and you don't have your own idea of what you are going to do. So the self-learning is starts from you already have your goal and then you step on this path and try your best to get the best result.
So would you say that you learned it deeper this way than you would in the classroom?
Yes.
Okay, great, thank you. So now we'll open up to, we got hands up already.
Period of time you want to quit and just restart.
Did you hear her? Was there a time when you wanted to give up and restart all over again? Did that ever happen?
I won't say I will give up because we are keep refining and revision all of our projects because machine learning requires many kind of trials and the failures that always exist. So we will just try our best to overcome this and we haven't seen
Even inside in your deep heart, you never thought, oh, I really want to give up. This is too
Not
hard.
just in this field is too hard, but we will try our best to dig into it and get answers.
Great.
As you're collecting unproposed data for analyzing, is there concern about the privacy and safety of the data that you collect?
I have to say that our databases come from a website and those data was collected by others. And those data are not from real people, but the data set is all for training a model. So that is, we haven't stepped into getting the real person's data, so there has no privacy issue in our research.
That's something to think about. Continue on, yeah.
As AI is getting increasingly better and better as time goes by, do you think the role of somebody like a doctor is at risk? People would rather go and speak to you on your phone or laptop, look for site and AI rather than go to a clinic.
I would say that it is just assistant tools. Maybe it can, for doctors, when they have so many patients for them to wait for to see the doctors, and maybe doctors can use this kind of tools to increase the efficiency.
Okay. Anybody else? Last question before George rings the final bell.
Yeah.
Okay, then thank you very much for your time. I really enjoyed it.
Next is
Are you already brainstorming hard questions for your sister?
Remember, sleep with one eye open.
Because you know you'll get it later at home.
It's okay.
So, yeah.
So the next one is Sherry and Alicia from Tainan Wuxue Experimental Educational Institute. And then her research is the price you pay, the pin test. So this is a certificate of investigation.
All right. Is it Alicia or Alicia? I've heard both.
I accept those.
But I want to know the real
I normally say Alicia.
Alicia. Okay, thank you very much. All right, so Alicia, thank you for joining us, and it's my pleasure.
project on the pig tax. So a quick brief summary about what economics. The study of economics is the study of how we locate and use resources. And in that, there's something called social economics, where we discuss how society shapes and molds the economy and how the economy shapes and molds society. I chose to talk about the pig tax. The pig tax is a term coined in the 1960s in the US, California, when they found that certain services charged or marketed towards women was priced up to their comparatives for men. The idea why it's tax is not really it's a government employed real tax is that it's unavoidable and it's everywhere. The pig tax is when sellers using the third degree of price discrimination charge women more based on the fact of their gender. There is no correlation to its production or the quality of the product. It is based on price elasticity, how much money they can get out of it, according to their data and their understanding of the market. What I did was I did a presentation where I tried to figure out, was this a real thing? Because some people don't believe that it's an actual economic phenomenon and it's just something that ever made up. There's no evidence behind it. And why does it happen? How does it happen? And then lastly, what can we do to prevent it or minimize the effect? So the first part is that from what I've gathered and found, it's a real thing. It's more of a social issue that women perceive self-care and certain products as necessary. So data suggests if women in their career do not wear makeup, do not dress up, they earn 40% less in their entire career compared to women who do. So they have to purchase that, meaning there's an incentive, it's a necessity. You have to buy no matter the price. So they know they can charge you a certain amount of money and you will still have to buy. So makeup, for instance, or shoes, clothes, those are all necessities in the social context, meaning they have higher price elasticity, they can charge you more, and they know you will pay. Then I looked at how it happens. Normally, men's products do not specify. So let's say one of the things I found was scooters, kids scooters. My child's first scooter, without specific seeing which gender was marketed to boys, and it was the average price. As soon as it says my little girl's first scooter, it became $40 US or $30 US, depending on the point of sale. And in elderly care, if this product, the sanitary product was marketed towards women, it was about 3% to 5% more expensive. So it is real, it has been observed, and it has impact. Then look at policy. Why a lot of countries like the EU or a lot of like New York State, California, care about is that women already on average earn less money. So in 2026, if globally you want to earn the same amount as women as men, you would have to work 59 more days, or you would have to work a part-time job to make up for anything. So add that to the already more expensive part of your cost, meaning you have less disposable income. This is important in today as disposable income you can invest in yourself or your future. All of that in the long term widens the gap between genders. So this little thing that like a few dollars more, it's not just about that few dollars more, it's about your whole control of your economic state and how this systematic way of discrimination harms everyone.
Great, thank you very much for that. So before I jump into like the finer detail type of questions, my first question is, what's your motivation to study the pig tax?
To be quite honest, it was spiked against my economics teacher. I had an economics teacher last year in my school who had very different views than I did. He had a very different life experience, and he was very adamant when we were talking about price discrimination and different pricing mechanisms. And he thought the black tax, the pig tax, all of these in his words, woke propaganda. And me being me was like, I'm going to do my whole entire project just to prove what you said was wrong. I went into this believing that he was in the majority, that both people agree that it was a real thing. Then I went across a lot of comments like economists arguing so firmly against it, even though their data was in their own restrictions. They said they did not have enough data. They only looked at certain types of it, certain types of products, and that further research is needed. In some cases, their limitations were longer than their discussions. If your research limitations are longer than your discussions, you might need to rethink your research. So that's actually why I have a think piece. I don't know if you saw it. Like I got full frustrated, like these random comments that contradict each other. That I decided to like have a Google Doc. So I would have the comment and then like my response and my sarcastic response to it. I started this because I don't like when people are not sure, but they say something that's fact, but that's dangerous. We all know the effects of fake news, and when something it affects half of the world's population, we should be sure about something.
Okay, great, thank you. So I got so many questions. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time. So let me start with something that you just said, because I think this is, I promise I'm not against or for, and I'm just being an impartial question person. But you said that you did it out of spite and to do almost to prove someone wrong. So my question is, how did you guard against your own personal bias while you're doing this type of research to still stay unbiased? What I mean by that is, if I want to prove somebody wrong, I can prove them wrong. I can find data that proves anything in the world wrong. So how do you keep yourself free from bias, even though you have a goal, which is, I'm going to show you that you were wrong. So did you take any steps to make sure that you stayed away from the personal bias?
This was probably the second aim of my whole thing, was that I wanted to be sure I was doing this scientifically. So I made sure I had outlets for my emotions, what I felt about the subject, what my teacher said about how I felt my discomfort with the system. I tried to let it out in different ways. I had distinct weeks where I would just be sarcastic, and then I'd go back to my research and then try to be impartial. The other thing I did was I had multiple different AIs. I had Claude, I had Gemini, I had ChatGPT, and I took the same arguments and I argued them with all of them. And they all gave me slightly different answers. I also realized that different bots probably have different political settings within them. But that's the other side effect of that. So I played devil advocate for everything I said. I made sure that everything I said had to be agreeable from the other side, and it wasn't just because I said so. Because I would have, even though it started from spite, my end goal was truth. It wasn't so much that what he said is that. I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, great. That's a very important point for research, right? Because you have to make sure that push the bias and the anger. Even though great research project can start just exactly like that. Like, I want to prove something wrong. I've done projects myself like that. But yeah, that's an important point. Okay, so question I have is, I saw the picture of the scooters on your PPT. So my question is, how did you go about the process of investigating the differences in prices? So for example, the scooters, because I think that's the easiest one to look at, or the t-shirts I think you had too, right? Same company, same shirt, different color, and then the price was different. So my question is, like the scooters, where did you get those, and was it at the exact same time? How can you verify that like there's not a sale, or you know what I mean? Like how do you ensure that your data is correct?
So instead of me trying to go find individual items, the New York State Department for Commerce made a report about 10 years ago, already sitting out, and then they already had comparison, and then there is consumer watch groups that look out for this stuff, and they provide data. So I thought instead of me trying to go find this comparison, I took already existing comparisons. I found them, I looked them up again, and then there's some apps in Google search, like Google can like look at the history of the price and make sure that it's really the price at that time was the same. I try to make sure that the time accurate, and then today a lot of products, because it's been a while, were no longer in sale. But those which are in sale, they still have price tags. So I think I remember looking up a shampoo. It was still manufactured, and the price tag actually got bigger after they reformulated. Even though they reformulated both, they only marketed to the women's as reformulated. They did not specify that the men's was reformulated.
So they can argue that it's not a gender thing. The women's is actually better because it's reformulated, something like that.
Yes, one part that a lot of businesses argue that is just because selling women's products costs more money. Women are more likely to be interested in the ethics of a company, the practice of a company, the marketing. But even when then you account for the cost, men's marketing campaigns, cost-wise, do not differ too much from women's marketing campaigns. When we take away the marketing part of it, and we use similar, like exactly the same product, where they're not company difference. They're the same company, the same products. Because when we're talking about pink tax, there's a few different ways. Pink tax is a big, broad term. One of them is that companies who are one company, but they market them as two companies, so they have women-facing sites and then men-facing sites. Those are harder to argue that they cost the same. So even when we eliminate that, just focus on where the same company makes the same products in different colors. The basic is terms. It still proves correct.
So that was going to be my next question: is how do you investigate something like this for products that are not equal? Like you mentioned, makeup. I'm not saying that men can't wear makeup. Of course they can, but obviously the majority of advertising is for women. How can you evaluate? Is this something you can still evaluate, even though maybe it's not a gender equal type of product,
I think the thing that
or like feminine products or things like that?
pink tax is not only compared to the equivalent of men, that's one
Yeah.
way of that. The other part of it is that how much they can charge, like what's the marginal cost? That's also part of pink tax, where the makeup thing is more due to social pressure. They mark how much they can market well. So in price discrimination, the price mechanism is the idea that the consumer and the business come on force to make the price that everyone is willing to pay. The thing with makeup is that the true cost to make makeup isn't as much as market, but because what makeup you wear, what fragrances you wear, associates to you, they can charge more when you feel like you have to have it.
Yeah, great, thank you. Sorry, one really fast follow-up. Did you ever consider boots on the ground and going out to the department store and see if you could find your own examples, rather than relying on just the reports?
I gained a bad habit of like, I went to buy a toothbrush, and I found a purple one. I was walking around the whole store trying to find the same brand like blue.
Yeah.
Mostly, I didn't find toothbrush. I didn't like if they were not specifically marked as for women and for men. They were like less. They were actually similar brands, but like if something was, so like say like toothbrushes, not much difference. But let's say that it was, I think it was hair growth theory or something. And I found a women's one, and I looked at the back. They had the same, and then I looked at the men, and they had the same exact ingredients. And it didn't say men and women, it just implied it was the little cat. And like the people on the front, there was actually no wording that said it was the same, but the women's were about $200 more than the men's. So I gained a bad habit during the period of time, like every time I went to the supermarket, I would like just look to make sure.
That's not a bad habit, that's a good habit. That's how you get the results and find Okay, great. All right, let's open up to any questions from the audience.
If you were there, would you have done this project?
I have a quote here that I was probably going to know gave me a chance to thank you for the chance of. In the field of economics, it's only been 3 women doing nobody. One thing that said is that humanity has a more complex incentive to shape the economy than received. Even if I was male, to think about a pink tax, it affects me too because that means the market, amount of money flowing in the market decreases because the value provided is less than promised. Meaning there is money that goes into companies that would otherwise be the flow of income that is missed due to discrimination. Meaning if there's less circulation, the money in circulation, it's less likely you are to get your hands on it. Discrimination for one group eventually affects everyone. But I don't think, to be honest, I wouldn't research it because it wouldn't be on my mind. I had to actually explain to a lot of people for the first time what pink tax was. If you don't know about it, you know where not like
That was me. I had to look it up. I honestly didn't know. Sorry. We do have one more question in the back.
I would like to ask, do you have any like specific data like in Taiwan?
Taiwan actually does not really have any research. Taiwan's consumer protection in this sort of discriminatory price management is quite behind. We do, but it's normally not reliable. It's more news outlet data where they're trying to prove a point, they're trying to make a headline. They're not really academic databases that you can look for. Our protection for any consumer rights actually are quite low. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I actually have the same question. I ran out of time. Anybody else? Sisters? Too scared? Trouble on home later? Yeah.
George?
Yeah, we do not have time.
He's too busy with the time. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.